In the heart of a serene and ancient village, nestled amidst the emerald hills of Japan, there lived a wise Zen master named Hiroshi. His presence was like a gentle breeze on a warm summer day, soothing and refreshing to all who crossed his path. People from distant places sought his guidance, for they knew that in his wisdom, they would find not only answers to their questions but also solace for their troubled hearts. Hiroshi, a name that meant generous and kind, was revered not only for his wisdom but also for his unwavering devotion to nurturing relationships. He often said, "In the tapestry of life, our connections with others are the most precious threads. Cherish and nurture them, for they weave the fabric of our existence." One tranquil morning, as the village awoke to the soft melody of bird song and the fragrance of cherry blossoms in bloom, Hiroshi sat beneath a venerable oak tree, deep in meditation. His eyes, as deep and serene as the boundless ocean, were half closed, and his long, silver hair flowed like a river of wisdom. A young woman named Sakura, who had traveled from a distant village, approached Hiroshi with a humble bow. She carried with her a heart heavy with sorrow, seeking solace and guidance. "With grace," she said, "Master Hiroshi, I come to you with a heavy heart, burdened by a rift that has torn my family apart. How can I mend the bonds that have been shattered?" Hiroshi opened his eyes, revealing pools of compassion. "Welcome, dear Sakura," he said, his voice as gentle as the rustling leaves above. "Relationships, like delicate porcelain, can crack and break. But with care and understanding, they can be mended into something even more beautiful." Sakura, eager to learn from the wise master, asked, "But how can I begin to heal the wounds that divide my family?" Hiroshi nodded, a knowing smile playing on his lips. "Let me share with you a story, Sakura, a tale of love, loss, and the profound wisdom that can be found in the bonds we share. Long ago, in a neighboring village, there lived a kind-hearted man named Daiki. He was known throughout the region for his generosity and compassion. Daiki had a small tea house by the river, where travelers often stopped to rest and refresh themselves. One crisp autumn day, as the leaves painted the landscape in shades of amber and gold, a weary traveler named Toshiro arrived at Daiki's tea house. Toshiro had walked a long and treacherous path, carrying a heavy burden of regret and sorrow. Daiki welcomed Toshiro with a warm smile and a cup of fragrant green tea. As Toshiro sipped the tea, he could not help but notice the tranquil beauty of the surroundings and the kindness in Daiki's eyes. Toshiro, his voice heavy with emotion, said, "I have wandered far and wide, burdened by a mistake I made in my youth. I fear that I can never make amends for the pain I caused." Daiki listened attentively, his heart full of empathy. "Mistakes are but the stones on the path of life," he said. "They may cause stumbling, but they also offer opportunities for growth and healing." Toshiro sighed deeply. "I wish I could turn back time and make different choices." Daiki's eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom. "Time flows like a river, and we cannot change its course. But we can choose to mend the present and build a better future." Over the days that followed, Toshiro found solace in Daiki's tea house. He shared his story, and Daiki, with compassion and insight, offered guidance and support. Slowly, the weight of regret that had burdened Toshiro's heart began to lift. One evening, as the moon cast a silvery glow upon the river, Toshiro looked at Daiki and said, "You have given me a gift more precious than I can express, the gift of forgiveness and a chance to heal." Daiki smiled, his eyes filled with understanding. "Forgiveness is a bridge that can mend even the deepest chasms of the heart," he replied. "It allows us to reconnect with those we have wronged and, in doing so, find healing for ourselves." Toshiro, deeply moved by Daiki's wisdom, left the tea house with a heart filled with gratitude. He vowed to seek out those he had wronged in his youth and make amends, no matter how much time had passed. As he journeyed through the years, Toshiro mended broken relationships and sought forgiveness from those he had hurt. With each act of reconciliation, he felt the weight of his past mistakes grow lighter, and his spirit became freer. Word of Toshiro's transformation spread throughout the region, and he became known not for his past mistakes but for his sincere efforts to make amends. People sought his counsel and admired his humility. In his later years, Toshiro returned to Daiki's tea house one final time. He had lived a life guided by compassion and forgiveness, and his heart was at peace. Daiki, now much older, greeted Toshiro with a warm embrace. "You have walked a noble path, my friend," he said. "You have shown that even the deepest wounds of the heart can be healed through love and forgiveness." Toshiro nodded, tears glistening in his eyes. "Your wisdom and kindness, Daiki, have been the lantern that illuminated my way." As Toshiro left the tea house that day, he carried with him the lessons of forgiveness and the power of healing through relationships. He knew that the bonds between people were fragile but resilient, and with care and understanding, they could withstand the test of time. Sakura, as she listened to Hiroshi's tale, felt a deep resonance within her heart. The story of Daiki and Toshiro spoke to her soul, and she understood the profound message it carried. Hiroshi smiled at Sakura and said, "Dear Sakura, relationships are the tapestry of our lives. Like any fabric, they may tear, but with patience, forgiveness and love, they can be mended and made stronger." Sakura bowed deeply to her master. "Thank you, Master Hiroshi, for sharing this beautiful story and your wisdom with me. I will strive to nurture and cherish the relationships that are dear to my heart." Hiroshi's eyes sparkled like stars as he replied, "Remember, Sakura, the bonds you cultivate with others are the true treasures of life. Water them with love and understanding, and they will flourish." Sakura left Hiroshi's presence that day with a renewed sense of purpose. She vowed to mend the bonds that had been strained within her family, and to cherish the relationships that enriched her life. Years passed, and Sakura's efforts bore fruit. Her family came together, their hearts mending like the cracks in a beloved ceramic teapot, and they found strength in their rekindled love for one another. Sakura's story of reconciliation and healing spread throughout the region, inspiring others to nurture and cherish their own relationships. The village that had once known strife and division became a place of unity and harmony. One day, a traveler named May arrived in the village. She had been on a long journey, searching for something she could not quite name. May observed the closeness and love among the villagers and marveled at the peace that enveloped the village. As she wandered through the village, May encountered Sakura and heard her story of reconciliation and forgiveness. Intrigued, May sought out Hiroshi, the wise Zen master, who welcomed her with open arms. Hiroshi shared with May the story of Daiki and Toshiro, emphasizing the transformative power of forgiveness and the importance of nurturing relationships. May listened intently, and as the story concluded, she felt a deep sense of resonance within her heart. "Master Hiroshi," May said, her voice filled with gratitude, "your wisdom has touched my soul. I have been on a journey in search of something I could not find, and now I realize that it is the power of love and forgiveness that I seek." Hiroshi nodded, his eyes filled with compassion. The path to a fulfilled heart is often paved with forgiveness and the nurturing of bonds with others. May decided to stay in the village, where she used her artistic talents to capture the essence of its harmony and the beauty of its relationships. Her paintings became a symbol of the village's transformation and the power of reconciliation. Over time, travelers from far and wide came to May's art gallery to witness her creations and hear the stories of healing and forgiveness that inspired them. The village, once known for its division, became renowned for its united and loving community. One day, a troubled soul named Hiroto arrived in the village. He had carried the weight of a bitter feud with his brother for many years, and it had left his heart heavy and burdened. May welcomed Hiroto into her gallery, where he marveled at her paintings and the stories they represented. He saw images of reconciliation, forgiveness, and the nurturing of relationships, and it stirred something within his soul. Hiroto approached May and said, "Your art and the stories of this village have opened my eyes. I have held a grudge against my brother for far too long, and I long to mend our relationship." May smiled warmly. "It is never too late to reach out and begin the process of healing and reconciliation, Hiroto." With May's guidance and inspired by the stories of the village, Hiroto embarked on a journey to find his brother and mend their fractured relationship. It was not an easy path, but with patience and forgiveness, they began to rebuild the bonds of brotherhood that had once been so strong. The ripple effect of May's art and the stories of the village continued to spread. Hiroto, now a symbol of reconciliation and forgiveness, touched the lives of many, inspiring them to nurture and cherish their own relationships. The village, once divided and wounded, became a place of hope and healing. It was as if the very spirit of the land had been transformed by the power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships. One day, a weary traveler named Akiko arrived in the village. She had faced many trials on her journey and had lost faith in humanity. Her heart had grown cold, and she had become cynical and distant. As she wandered through the village, Akiko observed the love and unity among its people. She saw neighbors helping neighbors, strangers reaching out to lend a hand, and children playing freely. It was a sight unlike any she had witnessed on her travels. Curiosity piqued, Akiko approached a group of villagers and inquired, "What is the secret to the love and unity that permeate this village?" One of the villagers smiled and replied, "It all began with our beloved Zen master, Hiroshi, who taught us the power of forgiveness and the importance of nurturing our relationships. Through his wisdom and the stories of our village, we have learned that the bonds between us are the most precious treasures of all." Akiko felt a stirring in her heart, a glimmer of hope she thought she had lost. She sought out Hiroshi, the wise Zen master, who welcomed her to his tranquil garden. Hiroshi shared with Akiko the stories of Daiki and Toshiro, Sakura and her family, May and her art, and Hiroto and his brother. He emphasized the transformative power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships, no matter how strained or broken they may seem. Akiko listened intently, tears filling her eyes. "Master Hiroshi," she said, "I have lived a life devoid of love and unity, causing pain to those around me. Can forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships truly change a person?" Hiroshi nodded with a serene smile. "Forgiveness has the power to heal even the deepest wounds, Akiko. And when we nurture our relationships with love and understanding, we not only mend the bonds with others but also find healing for our own hearts." Touched by Hiroshi's words and the loving spirit of the village, Akiko began a journey of transformation. She learned to let go of her cynicism, and open her heart to the beauty of love and unity. Over time, she too became a symbol of hope and reconciliation for others seeking to mend their relationships. And so, the eternal ripple of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships continued to spread, from person to person, village to village, and heart to heart. Each act of reconciliation and every gesture of love and unity created a chain reaction of positivity, touching the lives of countless individuals. Master Hiroshi, the wise Zen master, had once said, "In the tapestry of life, our connections with others are the most precious threads. Cherish and nurture them, for they weave the fabric of our existence." Through the stories of Daiki and Toshiro, Sakura, May, Hiroto, Akiko, and many others, the people of the village had come to understand the profound truth of these words. In their harmonious village nestled among the hills, they had found that the power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships could transform even the deepest wounds into sources of healing and strength. And as they looked out upon the world, they knew that the ripple of their love and unity would continue to spread, lighting up the darkness and guiding lost souls back to the path of compassion and understanding. As we reflect on this tale of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships, let us remember that the bonds we share with others are the most precious treasures of our lives. Through acts of forgiveness, love, and unity, we not only mend broken connections but also find healing for our own hearts. May the story of the village's transformation inspire us all to nurture and cherish our relationships, for in doing so, we create ripples of love and unity that extend far beyond our own lives, touching the hearts of generations yet to come. Let us carry the wisdom of love and forgiveness with us on our journey, for it is a universal truth that transcends time and place. In the words of Master Hiroshi, the power of love and unity resides within us all, waiting to be awakened. The tale of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships in the village continued to weave its intricate threads through the lives of its inhabitants and beyond. People from distant lands, drawn by the reputation of the village's loving spirit, began to visit to witness its magic firsthand. One such visitor was Ren, a renowned poet known for his verses that touched the soul. He had heard whispers of the village's harmonious spirit, and longed to capture its essence in his poetry. As Ren strolled through the village, he was captivated by the scenes of love and unity that surrounded him. Couples walked hand in hand, children laughed and played, and neighbors greeted each other with warm smiles. It was a living testament to the power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships. Ren decided to seek out Hiroshi, the wise Zen master, hoping to gain insight into the village's secret. Hiroshi, ever welcoming, invited Ren into his serene garden. Ren, with humility in his voice, said, "Master Hiroshi, I am a poet, and I have traveled far and wide in search of inspiration. Your village exudes a love and unity unlike any I have witnessed. Can you share with me the source of this extraordinary spirit?" Hiroshi, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages, replied, "The source, dear Ren, lies in the hearts of our villagers. It is the understanding that forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships are the foundation of a harmonious existence." Ren listened intently, eager to learn more. "Master Hiroshi," he asked, "could you share with me a tale, a story that encapsulates the essence of your village's wisdom?" Hiroshi nodded, a serene smile gracing his lips. "Let me share with you the story of Hana and Takeshi, two souls whose journey of forgiveness and love transformed not only their lives but the lives of all who knew them." Ren leaned in, his quill and parchment ready to capture every word. Many years ago, in the heart of the village, there lived a woman named Hana. She was known for her kindness and generosity, always ready to lend a hand to those in need. But beneath her warm exterior, Hana carried a heavy burden, a pain from her past that weighed down her spirit. Hana's pain was connected to Takeshi, a man she had once loved deeply. They had been childhood sweethearts, their love blossoming like the cherry trees in spring. But as they grew older, their paths diverged, and they parted ways, their love tainted by misunderstandings and hurtful words. For years, Hana held on to her anger and resentment toward Takeshi. She believed that he had betrayed her trust and shattered her heart. The mere thought of him filled her with bitterness. One fateful day, as the village prepared for its annual festival, Hana received news that Takeshi had returned to the village after many years. The wounds of the past were torn open anew, and her heart raced with a mixture of anger and longing. Hiroshi paused for a moment, allowing the weight of the story's emotions to settle. Ren's quill danced across the parchment, capturing the essence of Hana's pain. Despite her inner turmoil, Hana decided to attend the festival, unable to resist the pull of curiosity. As she walked through the bustling streets, she spotted Takeshi from a distance. Time had etched lines of experience on his face, and his eyes held a sorrow that mirrored her own. Their gazes locked, and in that moment, a flood of memories washed over them. The laughter of their youth, the whispered promises, and the dreams they had once shared, all came rushing back. Ren's quill moved swiftly, painting a vivid picture of the moment when Hana and Takeshi's eyes met across the crowded festival square. Takeshi, unable to bear the weight of regret any longer, approached Hana with a hesitant smile. "Hana," he said, his voice filled with both sorrow and hope. "I have carried the pain of our past with me for far too long. Can we find a way to heal the wounds between us?" Hana's heart, which had been encased in bitterness for so long, trembled with vulnerability. She nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "Yes, Takeshi, for in the tapestry of our lives, the threads of love and forgiveness are the most precious of all." And so, beneath the blossoming cherry trees and the lantern-lit streets of the festival, Hana and Takeshi began the journey of forgiveness and reconciliation. They shared their stories, their regrets, and their dreams for the future. As the night deepened, the villagers, who had witnessed the transformation of these two souls, joined in their celebration of love and forgiveness. The festival became a symbol of the village's commitment to nurturing relationships and healing wounds, no matter how old or deep they may be. Hiroshi's voice, like a gentle breeze rustling through cherry blossoms, continued to weave the story. Ren's quill moved with purpose, capturing the beauty of forgiveness and the power of love. In the days that followed, Hana and Takeshi worked together to mend their relationship. They discovered that beneath the pain of the past lay a love that had never truly faded. With each act of forgiveness and understanding, their bond grew stronger. The villagers, inspired by Hana and Takeshi's journey, began to reflect on their own relationships. They realized that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness but a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Ren's quill paused for a moment, capturing the essence of this realization. Hiroshi concluded the tale with a profound thought: "Dear Ren, the power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships can transform not only individuals but entire communities. It is a reminder that love, once buried, can bloom again with renewed beauty." Ren, deeply moved by the story, bowed to Hiroshi. "Master Hiroshi, your village's wisdom and the story of Hana and Takeshi have touched my soul. I will share this tale with the world, that others may find inspiration in its message of love and forgiveness." Hiroshi smiled, his eyes reflecting the serenity of the garden around them. "May your words carry the spirit of our village's wisdom, Ren, and may they inspire others to nurture and cherish their relationships, for in doing so, they create a world of love and unity." As Ren left the village with the story of Hana and Takeshi in his heart, he knew that he had found the inspiration he had been seeking. His poetry would carry the message of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships far and wide, touching the lives of those in need of its wisdom. And so, the village's legacy continued to spread, carried by the words of poets, the actions of individuals, and the boundless power of love and forgiveness. The tapestry of life, woven with threads of relationships, became a testament to the enduring beauty of the human spirit. In the end, it was not grand gestures or extravagant deeds that defined the village but the simple acts of forgiveness, understanding, and love shared among its people. Through the years, the village had become a beacon of hope, reminding all who passed through its gates that the true treasures of life were found in the bonds we nurture and cherish. And as we reflect on the story of Hana and Takeshi, may we too be inspired to mend the bonds of our past, to nurture the relationships that enrich our lives, and to carry the wisdom of forgiveness and love in our hearts. For in the tapestry of our own lives, the threads of love and unity are the most precious of all, waiting to be awakened and woven into a masterpiece of compassion and understanding. As we journey forward, may we remember the village's eternal message, that the power of forgiveness and the nurturing of relationships can transform not only individuals but the world itself. In the words of Master Hiroshi, the truest path to a harmonious existence lies in the tapestry of our relationships, for they are the threads that connect us all. And so, let us embark on this journey together, hand in hand, nurturing and cherishing the relationships that define our lives, and in doing so, let us create a world illuminated by the boundless light of love and unity. In the serene village of Kokoro, nestled deep within the valleys of Japan, there lived a wise Zen master named Hiroshi. Hiroshi was renowned not only for his profound teachings but also for his unwavering commitment to nurturing and cherishing relationships. One crisp morning, as the sun painted the sky with shades of orange and pink, Hiroshi sat beneath the cherry blossom tree in his garden. The fragrance of the blossoms filled the air, and the gentle breeze whispered secrets of the universe. He was joined by his dear friend and fellow monk, Takeshi. Takeshi, whose name meant fierce warrior, had earned his title through his resilience and determination. He had always been a bit of a loner, often focusing on his personal meditations and self-discipline. But today, he carried a heavy heart. "Hiroshi," Takeshi began, "I have been contemplating the meaning of relationships lately. While your teachings have helped many, I find myself struggling to truly connect with others. It seems my path is a solitary one." Hiroshi nodded, his eyes reflecting deep understanding. "Takeshi, my friend, the journey of the heart can be as profound as the journey of the soul. To truly understand the power of relationships, one must first open their heart to the world around them." Takeshi looked puzzled. "But how does one do that? How can I open my heart to others when I have spent so long on the path of solitude?" Hiroshi smiled gently. "Let me share a story, Takeshi, one that might help you find the answers you seek. Long ago, in a village not far from Kokoro, there lived a woodcutter named Ryu. He was a strong and diligent man who spent his days in the forest, chopping wood to support his family. Ryu's life was simple, and he found solace in the company of the towering trees and the symphony of birdsong. One bright morning, while Ryu was deep in the forest, he heard a faint cry. Following the sound, he discovered a tiny bird caught in a thorn bush, its wing injured. Without hesitation, Ryu carefully freed the bird and cradled it in his hands. The bird looked up at Ryu with its round, innocent eyes, and Ryu felt an instant connection. He decided to take the bird home and tend to its wing until it could fly again. As the days turned into weeks, Ryu and the bird formed a deep bond. He named it Kiko, which meant hope. When Kiko's wing finally healed, Ryu opened his window and let the bird go free. For a moment, Ryu felt a pang of sadness as he watched Kiko soar into the sky, but it was quickly replaced by a profound sense of joy. From that day on, Kiko returned to Ryu's window every morning, singing the sweetest melodies. Their friendship grew stronger, transcending the barrier between human and bird. Ryu often sat in his garden, listening to Kiko's songs, feeling the warm embrace of nature's harmony. One winter, as the snow blanketed the village and the world fell silent, Ryu fell gravely ill. Bedridden and weak, he longed for the comforting presence of his dear friend, Kiko. He whispered a prayer, hoping that somehow his feathered companion would hear it. Miraculously, on that very night, Kiko perched on Ryu's windowsill, its melodious song filling the room. Tears of gratitude welled in Ryu's eyes as he reached out to stroke Kiko's soft feathers. Over the next few days, Kiko stayed by Ryu's side, bringing him twigs and leaves as if trying to nurse him back to health. And indeed, Ryu's condition began to improve. With Kiko's unwavering support, he regained his strength. As spring arrived and Ryu's health was fully restored, he marveled at the power of the bond he had formed with a tiny bird. Kiko had brought not only solace but also healing to his life. Their relationship, born out of a simple act of compassion, had blossomed into something truly extraordinary. Takeshi listened intently to the story, his eyes locked onto Hiroshi's. "But what does this story teach us about nurturing relationships, Hiroshi?" Hiroshi replied, "It teaches us that relationships, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, have the power to bring healing, joy, and transformation to our lives." Just as Ryu's compassionate act towards Kiko nurtured their bond, our actions towards others can nurture the relationships we hold dear. Takeshi pondered this wisdom. "So, It's not just about the grand gestures, but the everyday acts of kindness that nurture relationships. Hiroshi nodded. Exactly, Takeshi. Cherishing relationships is not about the magnitude of what we do but the intention and love we put into every action. It's about being present, showing empathy, and cultivating connections with those around us. With these newfound insights, Takeshi embarked on a journey to nurture and cherish his relationships. He started by simply being more present with his fellow monks, listening to their stories, and offering a helping hand when needed. Gradually, he felt the warmth of connection grow within his heart. As the seasons passed, Takeshi's transformation became evident to all. He radiated kindness and compassion, and his once solitary path became a shared journey with friends who cherished his company. Hiroshi observed Takeshi's growth with a heart full of pride. One day, while walking in the village of Kokoro, Takeshi noticed a young girl sitting alone by the river, her eyes filled with tears. Without hesitation, he approached her and asked, "What troubles your heart, young one?" The girl, named Yuki, shared her sorrowful tale. She had lost her parents and felt utterly alone in the world. Takeshi listened with empathy, offering words of comfort and understanding. He assured Yuki that she was not alone and that the village of Kokoro would be her new family. Takeshi's act of kindness touched Yuki's heart, and she began to smile through her tears. In that moment, a deep bond formed between them, and Takeshi became a father figure to Yuki, nurturing her like a gentle guardian. The village of Kokoro watched in awe as Takeshi and Yuki's relationship blossomed. Hiroshi, too, witnessed the beauty of this transformation, knowing that the wisdom of nurturing relationships had taken root in Takeshi's heart. The years passed, and Takeshi's wisdom on the subject of relationships became legendary. He shared the story of Ryu and Kiko, emphasizing the profound impact of nurturing even the simplest connections. As the villagers of Kokoro continued to apply these lessons in their own lives, the village flourished not only in prosperity but also in the warmth of human connection. Acts of kindness and gestures of love became the fabric of their existence. One day, a weary traveler named Sora arrived in Kokoro. Sora had spent years wandering, searching for a place where he truly belonged. The burdens of his past weighed heavy on his heart, and he had lost faith in humanity. As he wandered through the village, he was astounded by the genuine kindness and compassion of its people. Strangers greeted him with smiles, and children played freely without a care in the world. It was a sight unlike any he had seen on his travels. Curiosity piqued, Sora approached Takeshi and inquired, "What is the secret to the kindness and warmth that permeate this village?" Takeshi, with his heart full of compassion, shared the story of Ryu and Kiko, and then he told Sora about Yuki, the young girl he had embraced as his own. "The secret," Takeshi said, "lies in nurturing and cherishing every relationship, no matter how small or ordinary it may seem. It's about opening your heart to the world and allowing it to open back to you." Sora, deeply moved by Takeshi's words and the loving spirit of Kokoro, felt a glimmer of hope he thought he had lost. He decided to make Kokoro his home, to heal his wounded heart, and nurture the relationships that blossomed there. As the years passed, Sora transformed from a weary traveler into a beloved member of the village. He found solace in the company of his newfound friends and family in Kokoro, and his burdens grew lighter with each passing day. And so, the timeless wisdom of nurturing and cherishing relationships continued to spread through Kokoro, touching the lives of its inhabitants and beyond. Each act of kindness and every compassionate gesture created a chain reaction of positivity, making Kokoro a haven of love and understanding. As we reflect on this tale of Kokoro, let us remember that each one of us has the power to nurture and cherish the relationships in our lives. Whether it's a friendship, a familial bond, or a connection with a stranger, every relationship has the potential to bring healing, joy, and transformation. May the story of Ryu and Kiko, Takeshi and Yuki, and the village of Kokoro inspire us all to open our hearts, show empathy, and cultivate connections with those around us. By nurturing and cherishing our relationships, we not only enrich our own lives but also create a world brimming with love and compassion. Let us carry the wisdom of Kokoro with us on our journey, and may we, too, nurture and cherish the relationships that make life beautiful. In the words of Hiroshi, the wise Zen master, in the heart's embrace, we find the true essence of life, for it is in our connections with others that we discover our own humanity. The story of Kokoro continued to weave its intricate threads through the lives of its inhabitants and beyond. People from distant lands, drawn by the reputation of Kokoro's loving spirit, began to visit the village to witness its magic firsthand. One such visitor was May, a talented artist known for her exquisite portraits. Her work was admired far and wide, but she had grown weary of the bustling city life. May had heard whispers of a tranquil village where love flowed like a gentle river, and she longed to capture its essence on her canvas. As May strolled through the village, she was captivated by the serenity that enveloped Kokoro. She watched children play under the cherry blossom trees, their laughter harmonizing with the rustling leaves. She observed villagers helping each other with genuine smiles and felt the warmth of their relationships. Unable to resist the pull of Kokoro's beauty, May set up her easel by the riverbank. She began to paint, her brushstrokes expressing the village's harmony and love. As she painted, villagers came by to observe her work and share stories of Ryu and Kiko, Takeshi and Yuki, and the wisdom of nurturing relationships. One day, an elderly woman named Yuki approached May. She had been a lifelong resident of Kokoro and had witnessed the village's transformation firsthand. With a gentle smile, Yuki said, "Dear May, your art captures the outward beauty of our village, but there is an inner beauty that radiates from the relationships of its people. Would you like to hear another tale of Kokoro's wisdom?" May nodded eagerly, setting her paintbrush aside. She was eager to learn more about the village's remarkable journey. Yuki began her story. Long ago, when Kokoro was just beginning its transformation into a village of love and compassion, there lived a fisherman named Daichi. He was known throughout the region for his kindness and his ability to bring abundance to the village. Daichi often ventured out into the vast ocean, his heart filled with gratitude for the sustenance it provided. He had a simple dwelling by the shore, and it was there that he would return with baskets full of fish to share with his fellow villagers. One stormy night, as the winds howled and the waves roared, Daichi set out on his boat, determined to bring back a bountiful catch for his people. But the sea, unpredictable and fierce, had other plans. A colossal wave capsized his boat, and Daichi found himself struggling to stay afloat in the icy waters. He thought of his family, and the village he loved so dearly. In that moment of desperation, he sent a heartfelt prayer to the ocean, asking for guidance and protection. To his astonishment, the sea responded. A mysterious force seemed to carry him to safety, depositing him on a distant shore. Daichi realized that he had been saved by the very ocean he had relied on for his livelihood. Filled with gratitude, he made a solemn vow to honor the ocean and its creatures. He would no longer take from it without giving back. In the years that followed, Daichi became an advocate for the ocean's well-being. He taught his fellow villagers about sustainable fishing practices and the importance of preserving the marine life that had sustained them for generations. Word of Daichi's commitment to the ocean's welfare spread far and wide. Fishermen from neighboring villages came to learn from him, and Kokoro became a beacon of environmental stewardship. Daichi's relationships with the sea and his fellow villagers deepened, and he found a sense of purpose greater than himself. His love for the ocean was reciprocated by the abundance it continued to provide. May, deeply moved by Yuki's story, resumed her painting with renewed inspiration. She understood that the beauty of Kokoro lay not only in its picturesque landscapes but also in the profound connections of its people with each other and with nature. As May continued to capture the village's essence on her canvas, villagers and travelers alike marveled at her ability to convey the spirit of Kokoro. Her artwork became a symbol of the village's love and compassion, and people from all corners of the world flocked to see her creations. One day, as May was putting the finishing touches on a painting of the cherry blossom trees, a young boy approached her. His name was Haruki, and he had traveled with his family to Kokoro in search of inspiration. Haruki gazed at May's masterpiece and said, "Your art is breathtaking, but it is the stories of Kokoro's wisdom that make this village truly special. Can you share more tales of love and compassion with me?" May smiled and invited Haruki to sit beside her. She began to recount stories of Ryu and Kiko, Takeshi and Yuki, Daichi and the ocean, and the village of Kokoro's unwavering commitment to nurturing relationships. As Haruki listened, he felt a deep sense of wonder and awe. He realized that the lessons of Kokoro were not confined to a single village but were universal, transcending borders and cultures. Haruki vowed to carry these lessons with him, to nurture and cherish his own relationships, and to spread the message of love and compassion wherever he went. And so, the stories of Kokoro continued to ripple outward, touching the hearts of people around the world. The village had become a living testament to the power of nurturing and cherishing relationships, reminding us all that the bonds we form with one another and with the world around us are the true treasures of life. As we reflect on the wisdom of Kokoro, let us remember that love and compassion are the threads that weave the tapestry of our existence. By nurturing and cherishing our relationships, we not only enrich our own lives but also create a world filled with harmony and understanding. May the stories of Ryu and Kiko, Takeshi and Yuki, Daichi and the ocean, and the village of Kokoro inspire us to open our hearts, show empathy, and cultivate connections with those around us. In doing so, we embrace the true essence of life, and discover the profound beauty of nurturing and cherishing our relationships. In the words of Hiroshi, the wise Zen master of Kokoro, in the heart's embrace, we find the true meaning of existence, for it is in our connections with others that we uncover our own humanity.